So you're doing the Old Carter right now, right?
I am.
Okay.
There's technically an H in there.
Or Old Charter. Have I been saying Old Carter?
You have.
The whole time?
Everyone assumes you're drunk, even though it's
That's literally my first sip of bourbon today.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bourbon Note. I'm Greg.
I'm Ben.
And today, we're drinking bourbon. All right, Ben, this is a bourbon I happened to be on a road trip and I saw and I thought, wow, that's amazing. It's only $18, but theme of the week, I think, is not available in Minnesota.
It's the theme of the entire channel, it seems.
It could be,
It comes up a lot.
Yeah.
So, we've got, bam, this is Old Carter Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. It's not really it's Old Carter number 8.
Number 8. It is probably not 8 years. They're not clear on that, but
that's our center marking, right?
It is. You know, sitting right here, the look with the lights in the background, it looks, boy, it's got this weird brownish color.
It looks like iced tea.
I was absolutely thinking, because of the yellow label, it totally looks like iced tea.
It does, actually.
Like I really expected to
it
be
almost looks a little
sweet tea.
Cloudy or whatever.
Yeah, it's just interesting.
So this is a Buffalo Trace Mash Bill 1.
Not a lot of information that we could find on it. We don't ever see it in the area, but I picked it up. It's only $18, so it's kind of a budgety kind of
bottom shelf
Buffalo Trace product. We're thinking it may be similar to Benchmark, which is another Buffalo Trace kind of entry-level Mash Bill 1.
If it's a lot better than Benchmark, I'm going to be upset. Just because.
Well, Benchmark's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 80 proof. I mean, it's...
Yeah, it's just, it's not offensive.
Cork it.
But, so yeah, it's kind of interesting just having this one random budget Buffalo Trace Mash Bill 1 product that's just nowhere around here.
Yeah.
I've never even seen one of these in person before. This is my first time. So it's got the number 8 on it. I don't know if that's, so old number 8 brand. So a lot of whiskeys, and I say that because Dickel does this too.
George Dickel does it a lot.
A lot of them will put numbers on the bottle.
But even the Benchmark is Benchmark 8, number 8.
You know, let's just bring this out here because I have a feeling we're gonna want to compare these two.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's Benchmark 8. That doesn't mean it's 8 years. So if you're new to this whole thing and you're out checking out bourbon someday.
For instance, like Knob Creek 9.
Yeah.
That's 9 year.
And
and there's a bunch
9 years on it.
Yeah. Old number 8 though. But like, George Dickel is famous for, the stick numbers on there making you think.
Yeah, they've got like an 8, a 12, and whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's a little sneaky.
They're trying to be a little too clever by half.
This has got a decent nose to it.
Spicy.
Should we just pour these next to each other just right off the bat?
Oh, you just wanted to go for it?
Yeah, let's just do it.
It's not a school night, so Ben is enthusiastic about.
Well, the thing is that smelling that, the thing that first came to mind was like, this definitely has a little more punch to it than Benchmark, and it's like, well,
and
I haven't drank Benchmark in a few weeks, so I guess I don't really, not fair to.
So maybe people hadn't seen we recently did a review of Benchmark versus early Ancient Age.
Yes.
So Benchmark is Buffalo Trace's Mash Bill 1 kind of budget.
And so is this, apparently.
And so is this. But then the Ancient Age is Buffalo Trace's Mash Bill 2, which is the same as like Blanton's and a few
Rock
other.
Hill Farms, Elmer T. Lee, Hancock Reserve.
And they're actually pretty good. They're 80 proof. They're definitely watered down.
Yeah.
But I really like them.
Smell the Old Carter versus the Benchmark 8.
So I'm just really getting a nice spice out of it.
That's what I was just gonna say.
And I'm getting nothing out of this, but it could be.
I've been rinsing the glass with this. This just comes off a lot more youthful and grainy now with that. It's got that thin, watered down caramel. This seems like it actually has some character to it. You know what a great way to find out the real difference between the two?
Well, let's try it.
Go ahead and taste them.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Cheers. So you're doing the Old Carter right now, right?
I am.
Okay.
There's technically an H in there.
Or Old Charter. Have I been saying Old Carter?
You have.
The whole time?
Everyone assumes you're drunk, even though it's
That's literally my first sip of bourbon today. Well, which is funny because Old Carter is actually a really expensive.
I think it's
also not available in Minnesota.
I think it's a different brand, like altogether.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
We just don't get those around here, so we don't know a ton about them, but we see them. I'm glad you brought that up. It saved me from saying that for the rest of the review.
This has a really nice toffee note. There is a prominent, like it's got a nice flavor that's been watered down. And that's kind of prominent. You really notice that it'd be awesome at 100 proof. But it's really nice flavors.
So it'd be awesome if it was E.H. Taylor.
and that's kind of what we're describing.
Yeah, same mash bill. So it's like, I wonder what this would be like at 90 proof. Well, we could find out. 90 proof with a little more age on it.
Maybe a tad more grainy, grassy.
I feel like this one, maybe the Old Charter might have a couple more years.
I feel that too. And now sitting next to each other,
excuse me,
this looks a little more interesting on the color.
Yeah.
And that looks a little...
Well, the benchmark has the age 36 months in fine print on the neck. We thoroughly checked this bottle over and it doesn't. And it's Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey with no age statement, meaning it has to be 4. So if it's a straight bourbon, it has a minimum, it has to be 2 years minimum, period.
Okay.
If it's a straight bourbon with no age statement, it has to be at least 4.
Okay.
So benchmark 8 is a straight bourbon, but they put the age statement on it at 3 years.
36 months.
Yep.
This one, no age statement, so we're guessing 4, but to be honest, now that I see the color, it could be a tad over that.
Yeah. It definitely has a little more character to it.
I think so.
Sure.
Yeah. But they sure feel and taste like they're the same. There are some like bourbons from a distillery that are distinctly different. These are
cut from the same cloth.
They're, well, cut from the same cloth, I guess. I don't know that phrase.
You never heard that before?
Well, maybe I've heard it, but I don't know what it means.
I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. In the context that we were just talking about, you couldn't like put that together.
Well, is that one object? If you cut it from the same, like...
It means they're both, you know, peas in a pod.
I see.
Know?
Oh.
Or how about this? Bourbons of the same mash bill.
Oh, that makes sense.
They're both mashed from the same bill. How about that? Yeah, the benchmark just has that.
To be honest, the most prominent note I get on this is water.
Water and caramel.
Water and caramel, and eventually you get to bourbon.
Sometimes when you have a very, very basic, not high aged, water all the way down to 80 proof, what I get a lot of times is that water and caramel. I always think of it as like a really thin caramel and sugar water. Almost like cane sugar, like white sugar water with caramel.
What it really reminds me of, and it's basically what you just described with different words and totally different, is it's kind of like you had something on ice and then whatever it is mostly melted.
Yeah.
And there's just that really watered down, you know, it's the same flavor, but you really struggled to really pull whatever it was.
And this is just watered down, so I'm guessing the fact that this has a little more kick to it, it might be a little bit better aged, or they're not, so this is distilled, aged, and bottled by Old Charter Distillery and Company, Louisville. So it's not at the Buffalo Trace.
The main Fort Frankfurt Distillery.
Yeah.
Frankfurt, Kentucky.
And so, you know, different warehouses, I mean, that can all that stuff can make a difference. I mean, it's the same general climate, but you never know.
So does this one say Frankfurt? It does.
It what? It does say
it
Frankfurt?
does,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes, I mean, who knows? Maybe there's just something different about the rickhouses
Could
there
be,
or something like that, or I don't know. I like the Old Charter a little bit better.
I agree. I actually think it's a little bit more interesting. It's more character. Honestly, it needs a few more proof points to really be exciting, but newer bourbon drinker.
This would be a really good one actually for a newer bourbon drinker.
Think so.
I wouldn't necessarily put benchmark, if I was I wouldn't recommend benchmark to a new bourbon drinker just because it's lacking a lot.
It is, but it's got really good flavors, and what it ultimately becomes is Buffalo Trace.
Right.
And so teaching someone And to be honest, these 3, if you put Buffalo Trace in with it, would be a good flight for a new person to say,
show the progression.
This is what age and proof do to a bourbon.
But I think if I was going to start somebody off on something that's lower proof or whatever, I'd go to an Evan Williams before I go to the Benchmark.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit better.
It comes across as too watery.
Yeah, exactly.
You're struggling to get good flavors.
Yep.
There are some good flavors, but it's a bit of a struggle. But to be honest, I'm really happy with this.
Yeah, this isn't bad.
Good budget find. Never be able to see it in Minnesota, but
I think if I am out and about in a different state that has this, I'd maybe pick up a bottle.
agreed.
Yeah, it's a good one to have on hand for people that come over that are just looking for something mild.
And it's unique. You know?
Yeah. To us anyway.
Yeah. Right.
So one good thing I suppose about all these bottles not being available in Minnesota, we go on
bourbon
vacation
desert.
and we feel like we found these great allocated products.
Right.
You know?
Bottom shelf.
Yep, exactly. So, all right. Well, this has been Old Charter with a guest appearance by Benchmark on the Bourbon Note. I'm Ben.
I'm Greg. Cheers. Actually, I'm not Greg. Cheers. I'm Greg. Cheers.
What happened there? I'm making a blend.
Cut it at that.